Modern life runs on a quiet promise we rarely examine. If the power goes out, it will come back soon. We've learned to treat blackouts as brief interruptions, a few hours of inconvenience, maybe a day. Crews repair the lines, generators bridge the gap, and routine resumes. But history and recent crises suggest a harder question. What if the lights don't come back tomorrow? What if the outage lasts weeks? A long blackout isn't just darkness. It's the failure of everything electricity quietly supports. Refrigerators warm, fuel pumps stop, cell networks fade, water pressure drops, hospitals ration generator fuel, ATMs go dead, traffic lights fail. What begins as annoyance slowly turns into a survival problem. In 2003, a cascading grid failure plunged more than 50 million people across the US and Canada into darkness. Power returned within 2 days. Even so, there were fuel shortages, water advisories, overwhelmed emergency services, and isolated unrest. That was a short outage. Stretch the same conditions across weeks, caused by cyber attacks, sabotage, war, or systemic collapse, and the consequences multiply. Electricity is the invisible spine of civilization. When it disappears, society doesn't collapse in a single moment. It unravels in stages. The first day is confusion and denial. Phones are refreshed. Assumptions persist. By day 3, patience thins. By week 1, behavior changes. By week 2, life narrows to basics: water, food, safety, information. This pattern isn't hypothetical. Regions that have endured long-term grid failures, from war zones to economic collapses, show the same lesson. Communities that adapt early suffer less. Those who wait for normal to return suffer more. Surviving a prolonged blackout isn't about extreme measures. It's about recognizing how fast convenience depends on fragile systems and how quickly you must shift from comfort to resilience. The real question isn't whether you can handle a few hours without power. It's whether you can function with no clear timeline for restoration. When the power stays out, the most dangerous failures aren't dramatic, they're quiet. Communication fails first. Cell towers rely on grid power and short-lived batteries. Once those drain, mobile networks vanish. Internet access follows as local infrastructure exhausts backups. Information fragments, rumors replace facts. This loss of communication is often what turns a blackout into a crisis. Fuel is next. Gas pumps need electricity. Even stations with generators depend on resupply systems that also need power. Within days, fuel becomes scarce. Emergency services are prioritized. Civilian mobility shrinks. Generators become useless once their fuel runs out. Water follows. Many municipal systems rely on electric pumps and filtration. As backups fail, pressure drops. Advisories appear. Sometimes taps go dry. People assume water will always flow, until it doesn't. Food systems collapse soon after. Stores depend on daily deliveries, refrigeration, and digital payments. Shelves empty within hours. Spoilage accelerates. Scarcity attracts conflict. By the end of the first week, healthcare strains. Hospitals conserve generator fuel. Non-urgent care stops. Refrigerated medications degrade. Pharmacies close. Minor injuries become serious when treatment is delayed. What makes this sequence dangerous is that it's invisible at first. People keep normal routines long after the systems supporting them are gone. They wait for reassurance that never comes. They assume restoration is imminent because they've never experienced otherwise. That delay is the real threat. Once it's clear the outage won't end quickly, survival narrows to 3 non-negotiables: water, food, and temperature control. These aren't lifestyle choices. their biological limits. Water comes first. Municipal supplies may become unreliable or unsafe. Households must shift immediately to conservation. Bottled water, filled containers, even bathtubs become critical. Flowing tap water should be treated as temporary. Boiling, filtering, or chemical purification may soon be required. Rainwater or natural sources can help, but only if purification is understood beforehand. Food comes next, and priorities change fast. Fresh and frozen food spoil within days. Early on, perishables should be consumed first. Then the focus shifts to shelf-stable calories, canned goods, rice, beans, pasta, oats, peanut butter, dried foods. Calorie density matters more than variety. Cooking also changes. Electric stoves are useless. Alternatives, gas burners, camping stoves, grills, solar ovens, become essential and must be used safely to avoid carbon monoxide poisoning. Heat and cooling are often underestimated. In winter, lack of heat can kill within days. In summer, heat stress and dehydration quietly claim lives. Insulation matters more than fuel. Seal rooms, layer clothing, use blankets. In hot climates, shade, airflow, hydration, and reduced exertion are survival tools. None of this requires advanced gear. It requires an early shift in mindset. Waiting until supplies are gone or temperatures become extreme is a common and deadly mistake. Households that treat food, water, and temperature as managed resources outlast those who try to preserve normal habits. As weeks pass, survival becomes less about supplies and more about people. Behavior changes under prolonged stress. Uncertainty breeds fear. Some cooperate, some withdraw, a few exploit the situation. Security risks don't come from chaos alone, but from desperation paired with opportunity. Law enforcement capacity shrinks under fuel shortages and staff strain. Response times stretch or disappear. In this environment, deterrence matters more than confrontation. Visible occupancy, reinforced entry points, and quiet vigilance reduce risk. Advertising preparedness does the opposite. Isolation, however, is also a mistake. Communities that endure best coordinate early. Neighbors share information, check on the vulnerable, and establish informal watch systems. A single battery-powered radio can serve multiple households. Simple coordination multiplies resilience. Mental endurance matters just as much. Long blackouts blur time, increase anxiety, and degrade judgment. Routine becomes a survival tool. Regular meals, defined tasks, shared responsibilities, and rest stabilize the mind. Children and the elderly need calm explanations and structure. Panic spreads faster than hunger. Quiet confidence spreads stability. One of the most dangerous traps is false hope, the belief that restoration is imminent despite evidence. This delays adaptation. Acceptance isn't surrender. It's the decision to fully shift into survival mode while staying flexible. Security, community, and mindset form a triangle. Neglect one, and the others weaken. Eventually, the power returns. But that moment isn't the end of the crisis. It's the start of recovery. Systems don't normalize instantly. Water systems need flushing. Food remains scarce. Fuel shortages persist. Hospitals stay strained. Rushing back to old habits increases risk. Gradual reintegration is safer. Households that fare best share patterns. They adapted early. They conserved. They coordinated. Recovery is the time to document lessons. What ran out first? What mattered most? Which assumptions failed? Prolonged blackouts expose uncomfortable truths. Modern life is deeply dependent on uninterrupted power and just-in-time systems. But they also reveal something else. People adapt faster than they expect. Preparedness isn't fear. It's responsibility. modest water storage, shelf-stable food, backup cooking, battery radios, basic first aid, plans for heat and cooling, trusted neighbors. These aren't extreme measures. They're practical ones. Governments will issue reports and promise upgrades. Some changes will happen. Many won't. Individuals can't control national infrastructure, but they can control readiness. A long blackout isn't the end of the world. It's a stress test. The ones who pass aren't the strongest or the wealthiest. They're the ones who understood early that resilience is built before the lights go out, not after. The power will return. The real question is whether you'll be ready when it doesn't.